Chapter 65. Trim lay covered in the bottom of the volcano's main shaft. His eyes, lungs, and nostrils burned. His lungs were choked with ash and smoke, and his nostrils bled. As he struggled to breathe, he could faintly sense a vibration of footsteps coming closer to him. "There's no way I'm getting out of this alive," he whispered and wheezed hard. Trim opened with one eye to see the beastly figures towering over him as nothing more than a blur. He closed his eyes, and as he found himself slip away, "At least I'll lure them to their deaths and spread the others from them." He felt another fine shake from the volcano. "Forgive me, Candace." And with that, there was suddenly silence. The wolves barked and nipped at each other as he stalked up the fallen earth dragon. The closer they drew to him, the more they began to bark and shove each other, each hoping to get at the young dragon first. Just as they were about to bear down the dragon, a sharp bark halted them. The wolves turned to see Snarl and the rest of the pack rushing towards them. The Minotaur all slunk away from Tremor, allowing Snarl to look down and collapse by the Guardian. After initial surprise, he recognized his prey and a twisted grin spread across his muzzle. He reached towards Tremor, but a loud shriek from above caught his attention. The wolves looked up to see Leon suddenly throw Cinder the wall pin her. "This time, Cinder, I will be more thorough in killing you." From out of a hole in the tunnel, a bolt of lightning burst from Spyro's mouth. The bolt stunned Leon, giving the purple dragon the chance to hit him with a beam of convexity. Leon struck the wall before plummeting to the bottom of the volcano. The wolves watched as the black dragon hit the ground, leaving an impact crater where he lay. The wolves waited for a moment to see if the dragon would rise. He didn't. "Take him!" Snarl pointed Tremor and turned towards the other fallen warrior. The elf approached Leon cautiously. As he looked down on him, he began to notice a warm glow coming up through the lava of the rock. Lava was seeping through the cracks. Leon suddenly sat up screaming. His shadows manifested and Malifaux roared in anguish. The wolves cowered in fear as the dark monster battled from the burning pain. Just then the volcano gave one final rumble and a loud explosion ripped through the caverns. Without a second thought, Snarl snatched up Leon, still screaming and burned with dark magic. The elf rushed back to his packmates, who held Tremor roughly about the neck. The wolves huddled together as Snarl handed Leon to one of them and slammed his massive fist into the ground. A wall of fog burst from the ground and surrounded them in an airtight shield. "Hold on!" the pack leader shouted and pressed his hands to the burning rock. The sound of another muffled explosion came from outside the protector's shield, and suddenly the ball shook violently. The wolves were knocked off their feet and were sent bouncing around the inside of the ball. Snarl dug his long claws into the stone, trying to keep the ball steady as he shot straight up. The heat was burning his skin and he could feel his flesh boiling away. The ball shot straight into the blackened sky before falling back down to the mouth of the volcano. The force of the lava sent the wolves and dragons rocking right back up again. As the ball began to fall again, Snarl managed to steer the descent. The ball hit the bursting spout of lava and began bouncing less aggressively on the blisteringly hot surface. "Set me down," a fierce voice growled. Snarl looked over his shoulder to see Leon squirm free of the wolf's grasp and set foot onto the burning rock. Much to that of his surprise, the young dragon's paws didn't begin to burn. Dark magic swelled the base of the black dragon's feet. His eyes flashed with rage as confetti began to swell up inside of him. The right side of his face, as well as his neck, shoulder and side, had severe third-degree burns. His eye was already bleeding and began to pulse as well as the other wounds. A hateful growl resided in Leon's throat as he looked at the unconscious Earth Guardian. He let an infuriated roar, causing the wolves to pin their ears back and tuck their tails. Even Snow was forced to relinquish his hold on to the burning area. The dark monster's evil energy spread throughout the wolves and seeped into the volcano, giving a sinister violet hue. Leon burst through the rock and into the lava and ash-filled sky. His dark energy swept up the surviving wolves and brought them to his eye level. "We will take this one back," Malifaux spoke to the young dragon as he pointed at Tremor. "And then we will hunt down the others." He fixed his eyes to Snarl. "And this time, there'll be no failures." Tremor's head spun. His breathing was very ragged and weak. Tears flowed from his eyes as he attempted to clean themselves of the remaining basaltic dust that had blinded him so badly. As Tremor began to regain consciousness, he felt his chill sweep over him. He opened his eyes and his world immediately began to spin. The Earth Guardian groaned and shut his eyes. When the whirling field subsided, he slowly opened his eyes again. The nothing remained and his labored breathing didn't help. When Tremor's eyes fully opened, he froze in shock. Dangling across the room from him was Candace. The Ice Guardian was suspended from the ceiling, turning ever so slight the chains barely clinked. The iron bolt that rested below her suspended body held her tail tightly. There was no way for her to use her tail to defend herself. Her arms were shackled behind her back in a most uncomfortable position for any dragon, and her wings had been clamped beneath a rusty old length of chain. The Ice Guardian's head hung up, and for a split second, Trim thought she was dead. But when he heard her taking a heavy breath, he relaxed slightly. "Candace," he spoke. His daughter heard when he spoke. When the dragon didn't respond, he spoke louder. "Candace!" He got up and took a couple steps towards her, and suddenly began to cough hard. The noise brought Candace back from her dormant state. She opened her eyes and lifted her head to see Tremor on his knees in a fit of harsh coughing. "Tremor!" she whispered drowsily. As her mind realized what she was seeing, her heart leaped for joy. "Tremor!" She squealed and kicked out the wall behind her, trying to get closer to the Earth Guardian. "Candace!" Tremor wheezed before coming hard again. "Tremor, you're alive!" Candace sobbed tears of pure delight. "I thought you were dead. I thought I'd lost you again." Tremor continued coughing as he got off his knees and staggered towards his mate. "Come on, Candy. You should know you can't get rid of me that easily." The Ice Guardian only smiled and began to get a hold of his hair. He moved to get close to his dragonness, but the chains that bound him yanked him back. Tremor tried to pull against the metal, but only succeeded in coughing more. "It's no use, Tremor," Candace sighed sadly. "You're not close enough." "Doesn't mean..." Tremor began to pull against the chains again. "I won't try." Candace just shook her head. "You know, I would say something about you being a thick-headed pepper brain, but I'm just too happy to see you alive." Tears were streaming down Candace's cheeks and onto the cold, damp floor. "Save your tears for a special occasion, sweetie." Tremor saw as he wheezed again. "How do we get out of here?" "I've been trying to think of that for hours." Candace shook her head. "Looked more like you were napping to me." Tremor grinned and Candace narrowed her eyes at him. "Shut up," she snorted. "As I was saying, I have no idea where we are anyways. I haven't been able to come up with a plan of escape before the wolves return." "Wolves?" Tremor stopped pulling the chains and fixed his eyes on Candace. Just then there was a loud clang as the bolts on the door came off. Tremor and Candace cringed against the blinding light of the hall beyond the doors. A single hulking wolf stood in the doorway, blocking out most of the light. Tremor's eyes fell upon Tremor, who screamed against the brightness. "Well now, I was expecting you to be up. Not this soon anyways." He stepped inside the chamber and motioned for the guards to close the doors. When they locked behind him, the wolf paced around the room, putting himself between a young dragon and his female. "To tell you the truth, I didn't believe you would ever wake up. You used to fight a volcano blast, encounters with my strongest warriors, and even bounced the Dark Master himself." Snarl smiled at the Earth Guardian as he continued to pace around the large room. "But don't forget about who you're dealing with here." Snarl stopped and pointed an authoritative claw at Tremor. The Earth Dragon's muscle tensed as he expected an attack. "I'm the alpha male of my clan. I'm the most powerful amongst all the warriors." "Well, I'm here as hot air, Fuzzface." Tremor snorted and stiffened another cough. "Oh, you think so?" Snarl smiled as he continued around the room. "Let me ask you this. Is that what you thought when you first faced my warriors on the field of battle? I'm fairly certain that you didn't because you're still alive today. You took us seriously as any dragon should." Candace and Tremor exchanged suspicious glances. Tremor had no idea where the wolf was going with his speech, but Candace was already getting a good idea. She shook her head, but Tremor missed the gesture as he turned back to the wolf leader. "If you have a point, cried Brett, then get to it already. I haven't got all day," Tremor demanded spitefully. Snarl chuckled in amusement. Then without warning, he kicked Tremor in the stomach. The old dragon yelled in pain and fell to the floor holding his gut. "Tremor!" Candace shrieked and struggled against the chains, but knew it was futile. Snarl's laugh rang loud in the guardian's ears. "You're starting to lose your head, dragon." He cracked his knuckles as he continued pacing. Your fight should be in your spirit, not your mouth." Tremor gazed at the wolf as he got to his feet, whistling hard, trying to refrain from coughing. "Why don't you come closer, and I'll put my fine spirit where your face is," he growled. Snarl laughed again. "You made the same mistake." He swung his foot again. This time Tremor was ready and dodged it. But just as he was about to get away, the chain chucked it back down to the ground. Snarl continued to laugh mockingly at Tremor and brought his foot to rest on the dragon's neck, pinning him where he lay. "I see you're quick to learn as well." Snarl smiled wickedly. Tremor glared daggers up at the wolf. Snarl tilted his head sideways as he looked down at the young dragon. Those eyes. So sad. He shook his head in an act of false remorse. "I remembered seeing those same eyes when I killed your sister." "What?" Tremor's pupils shrank and he felt a roar build up from deep inside his chest. "Tremor!" Candace shouted. "Just before I left your sister to die, the excruciatingly painful death she deserved, I remember seeing her look up at him with the same eyes. So strong and determined to fight until the end." "You mongrel!" Tremor growled through clenched teeth. "Tremor, no!" Candace pleaded. I'll be honest. Your so-called sister had the chance to back away. If she hadn't been so full of the arrogance you drug is called pride, then she may have lived. Snarl leaned down, bringing his nose close to Tremor's face. And judging by the way you are, I'd say that arrogance runs in the family. Tremor let out a roar as she whirled and snarled. The wolf was knocked off the young dragon, and he staggered back several steps before catching himself on a chain that hung from the ceiling. He looked up at Tremor, who lunged for him, only to be held a few feet back by the chain's shackles. Snarl loved this. Tremor gnashed his teeth and clawed wildly at the air. Yes, that's it. Get mad. I want you to lose yourself the way you did when I first met you. I want you to remember what I did. Think of how your sister looked after I butchered her myself. It was so delightful. I'd do it again and again if I could. The laughing grew louder as Tremor continued to delve in an even more crazed state. No! Tremor, stop! Candace cried frantically. This is just what he wants. He wants to see you in pain. Don't give him the pleasure. Don't you think you've suffered enough? The Asgardian's words seemed to fall on deaf ears as Tremor's frenzy continued. The dragoness felt in love in her throat as she watched helplessly as her love continued going postal before her very eyes. With each swipe towards the wolf, he seemed to be clawing away from her. Candace felt the tears of loss begin to swell in her eyes again. Please stop, she murmured softly. Please, Tremor, come back to me. She still lowered her hand in defeat. You promised, she said quietly as a few tears ran down her snout and fell on the stone floor. The tears hitting the floor sounded like thunder in Tremor's ears. He paused in mid-swipe and his pupils returned to normal. He sat down on his haunches and hung his head in shame. I'm sorry, Candace, he whispered. He looked up at Snow with a calm and collected look. He had found his inner peace, his strength. I won't fight you. He shook his head. Not for revenge. Not for myself. I made a promise to the one I love not to lose myself. And I intend to keep that promise until the day I die. He didn't need to turn his head. He could sense Candace's head lift, and he could feel her eyes staring into the back of his head. Oh, Tremor. The ice guardian smiled to herself, thankful that he was back. I see. Snarl nodded thoughtfully and scratched his goatee. I admire your strength, dragon. He began to pace about the room again, and Tremor felt his muscles tense as he waited for the wolf to attack him. You refused to fight me to the dark of your heart, and because you made a promise to your mate. Snarl stopped in front of Candace, looked from her to Tremor. You know, he turned to Candace with a slight nod. You're very lucky to have a mate that would do anything for you and obey your every command. He started to take a nice step to pace the room, but whirled around, grabbing Candace by the throat and slamming her into the wall. The dragoness gave a gargle cry and Tremor's eyes grew wide. Candace! He lunged forward to help her, but succeeded in having his shackles sting his neck scale some more. Candace groaned to break free from Snow's crushing grip as she gasped for air. Snow's eyes locked with hers, and Candace could see the evil intent within them. The elf turned towards Tremor with a devious smile spread across his muzzle. So how about it, dragon? He jeered. If you won't fight to avenge your dead sister, or for yourself. The wolf gripped the hand to his bladed weapon. Then how about you fight for her? Tremor's eyes were wide with horror as he glanced from his struggling dragoness to the object of his torment. I can't, he gasped heavily and hung his head, turning away from the sight before him. Snarl frowned. He drew his weapon and pressed the blade against his throat. Do it, or she dies, he growled. Jones looked up and his pupils dilated. Snarl waited until the dragon was staring him in the eye. Fight me, the wolf barked harshly this time. Fight me or I swear that I'm going to spill blood all over this chamber. But Jones started. Tremor! Candace grabbed as she felt the oxygen leave her body. You can. I'll be. Fight. But Candace! Joan was indoor when Snarl pressed a sharp jagged blade to dragon's soft skin. Candace gave a muffled cry as the blade slowly drew downward from a clavicle across her chest. Blood trickling down her soft underband off the top of her tail blade. Alright! Joan cried as he fell to his knees in submission. I give up. I'll fight you. Good. Snarl smiled and immediately released Candace to turn to his guardian. No, don't you dare hold back or I'll send that pretty little head of hers rolling. Tremor gritted his teeth against the anger that turned to take over his mind. I made a promise to always be there for her. He cried as he got to his feet. I keep my promises. I'm not going to let her down. All at once the ground shook and Tremor let out a thunderous roar. His scales glanced in the dim lantern light. Snarl cringed from the loud noise and tightened his grip on his weapon. Now that's more like it, he laughed. You won't be seeing that when I'm done with you, Tremor growled. I'm going to defeat you once and for all.